Hello, my name is Andrew Shurk Espinoza. I'm a collegiate strength and conditioning coach, and I'd like to introduce a proprietary methodology I've been working on for a decade. As a collegiate strength and conditioning coach, one of our tasks is to help determine an athlete's carrying capacity. Never really thought that this was done with any accuracy or individualization. So, after doing years of research and discussion with others who share similar interests in athletes' carrying capacity, I developed Spire Athletes. Spire Athletes is a systematic approach to determine an athlete's optimal weight carrying capacity. It is done by taking 6 different metrics: chest depth, hip width, seated height, shoulder width, and femur. There are other methodologies out there that do 2 different measurements, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. The formula in which I created to where the measurements are then punched into, it first was started with measuring athletes and then doing a deep dive into peer-reviewed articles relevant to the subject. Then I applied the findings of my data and researched and implemented a mathematical model. After years of engineering and re-engineering my formula, I am able to present a easy to use application for coaches. On the website, you will then go into your coach's dashboard, which will look like this. So you'll have your coach's hub. There's the calculator and support if you need to email me for any reason. You also will have my phone number. You can search however you want by position, athlete's class, date submitted. If you want to filter it out on your own, you can right here. You will click on this tab to add an athlete, enter their appropriate information, position, body fat, the measurements taken. You can put in notes, and then you would hit submit. We'll go back and look at an athlete that was already created. We'll look at Travis Johnson, who is actually an inside linebacker. He has the information typed in, his body fat, his measurements for his seated height, shoulder width, chest depth, hip width, femur width, etc. You can see that I have him measured at a carrying capacity of 220 pounds with the max potential lean mass at 195 pounds. You can see currently he weighs 210 and his lean mass is 196 at 11% body fat. So this shows that he still has room to grow to hit his max, his ceiling max on his frame capacity. The subscription, once you are signed up on the website, will be a yearly based subscription. It includes the large bone caliper, which is the device used to take the measurements. And I will go over how to do those measurements during the subscription process. The wall mounted stadiometer, where you can take the standing height and seated height. There are already some existing methods out there. However, I have come to find that there are missing some key components that affect their reliability and accuracy. Some of these methods are just based on the athlete's position, which is a very general and broad overview, their height and wingspan, and ankle and wrist measurements. The benefits of Spire Athletes is the tangible information it provides. As I said earlier, this methodology takes 6 measurements into account. The reasoning this is important is that you can have several athletes who are the same height or the same wingspan or similar wrist and ankle sizes, but they are not all going to be able to carry the weight the same. All those athletes could have different chest depth, shoulder width, hip width, any of those different variations, which can drastically affect their carrying capacity. It's not just the measurements that make a difference, but the formula I have developed that also gives a high level of accuracy. Measuring an athlete takes less than 5 minutes. You can also use it to measure recruits and get a better insight into how they might mature in the future. Athletes are no longer carrying excessive weight or undeveloped muscle mass that would be detrimental to their performance. I've also found this to be helpful in finding athletes who are already on a roster who might be able to play another position. For example, a linebacker who's tight in the hips and isn't really suited for playing linebacker, but during our measurements, I found out that he has a large carrying capacity and could become a D end if needed. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Please feel free to contact me. You can either hit me up at spireathletes.com and just request some more information. You can email me at spireathletesinfo@gmail.com, or you could reach out to me on Instagram at Spire Athletes or my personal account at Coach Shurik.